Hi, this video is going to be looking at angles. This never used to be in the level 2, but since September we're there with angles, we're using protractors, we're measuring angles, we're building pie charts, we're doing all sorts. So this is an important part because it's new, it's going to be in there, it's going to be in your exam in some form or another. They may not ask you to build or draw a pie chart from the start, but there'll be something to do with angles and protractors, etc. So very important. So to start with, we're looking at 4 different types of angle. We've got an acute angle, which is less than 90 degrees. We've got a right angle, which you should all know anyway, which is exactly 90 degrees. We've got an obtuse angle, which is more than 90 but less than 180. And we've got a reflex angle. Now, the reflex angle is weird because you need to know this angle here in order to work it out. You need to know what that angle there is. And the reflex angle is 360 degrees minus this angle. So it's more than 180 degrees, but it's less than 360. 360 is a circle, and as you can see, it's not quite a circle. So if that was 60, no, it's not going to be 60 because it's an obtuse, but if it was, this would be 360 minus that 60, so that would be 300. That's how you work out a reflex angle. The rest, you need a protractor for, these two. You need a protractor to work that out, you need a protractor to work that out. That one speaks for itself, it's a right angle, it's going to be 90 degrees. So there's only these two that you've really got to worry about when you see them, and you've got to get your protractor out. So, try again. There's an acute angle, there's an acute angle. That's going to be an obtuse angle. There's a 90, there's an acute, and there's another acute angle. So it's not difficult to tell which is which. But to measure them, you need one of these, a protractor. Now the parts of a protractor are extremely important because it works out where you put the protractor in the first place. Every protractor has got some sort of target in the middle at the bottom. In this case it's a circle, it's a hole. Some cases it is actually a little target, like that. But there'll be something in the middle. You can't see it probably, but there's a perfectly straight line that runs right across the bottom of the protractor. And that's so with any protractor. The target might be different, but that line will always be the same. A perfectly straight line across the bottom. And the reason for that, if you're measuring that angle there, the target goes on this corner. The straight line follows that straight line, and you read off up there. Now there are 2 scales. There's a bottom one and a top one. And people get confused as to which one to use. That one says that that angle is 140 degrees. This one says it's 40. It's an acute angle. It's got to be less than 90, so you know it's not going to be 140. You're going to be reading from that bottom one. So this angle is actually 40 degrees. Similarly, target goes on the corner of the angle. The straight line on the protractor follows the straight line there, and you're reading off up here. Now again, we've got the two scales. It's an obtuse angle, it's more than 90, but it's less than 180. So the top scale is saying it's 45. It can't possibly be 45. It's an obtuse angle. It's got to be more than 90. So it must be the bottom one. And that's 135. So look at the angle that you're measuring so you know which scale to use. Once you're used to it, it'll come naturally, but until you're used to it, look at the angle. Is it obtuse? Is it acute? If it's acute, it must be less than 90. If it's obtuse, it's got to be more than 90, but less than 180. Why less than 180? Because 180 is a straight line. Coincidentally, it's also the amount of degrees in a triangle, 180. But that doesn't mean each one is 60. But we'll do that some other time. So, how do we measure this reflex angle? We put the dot on the corner. The straight line follows that straight line. We know that this angle is an obtuse angle. So we go back to that. It's got to be more than 90. So this angle, same again, 135. So if that's 135 degrees, the reflex angle outside is 360 minus 135, which has got to be 25. That's right. I was just checking my own, I did it up there. 225 degrees for that. Based on the inside angle being 135. Okay, so protractor use, very important. Target on the corner of the angle. The straight line, following the straight line of the angle that you're measuring. And then read off the scale. Nice and easy.